Welcome to Checks and Balances. I'm Michael Vincent. This is James Blair. And this week, the government announcements.
Mike, the first home buyers grant.
Yep.
Been around for quite a long period of time.
Ain't it just?
Really meant diddly squat until now because we've seen some changes.
All right, Mr. Remuera. It didn't mean diddly squat. However, the government has recently introduced a raft of changes to this legislation which should make it easier for people to qualify for it. And arguably means that it'll probably do something now.
Also, calling me Mr. Remuera, what are you getting for $700,000 on the North Shore? Okay, let's just point that out. We're not letting that pass. So firstly, Mike, for those that don't know, let's recap. First home buyers grant.
Yep.
What the heck is it?
Cool. So first home buyers grant is an incentive that you get from the government when you're purchasing your first home. It can be up to $5,000 for an in situ property or $10,000 for a new build. And it is calculated on the amount of years that you have been contributing to KiwiSaver. So let's say I'm buying an in situ property and I've been contributing to KiwiSaver for 3 years. I potentially will qualify for $3,000 as your first home buyers grant from the government. You do not have to pay this money back. There's cash in your account. Hopefully you're using it towards a deposit.
So Mike, a lot of people assume maybe that we're a couple. I mean, my wife, your fiance are going to be very disappointed. What about if a couple is buying a house together? So if you're getting say you're buying a new build,
yep,
and you get $2,000 for each year, total of 5 years, 10 grand.
Yep.
If we're buying together, does that mean we could get 20,000?
It absolutely does. So it is calculated on the person, not the property. Yes, the property takes into account or dictates how much you can get. However, it's calculated on the person. So that means that James could get 10,000, I could get 10,000.
That's a lot of letters.
It is.
Now, before we talk about the changes, which are quite a big deal, there's not been a lot of discussion about this in the past. Why has that been?
Yeah, so traditionally it's been pretty hard for people to actually qualify for this. Yeah, there's some income caps, but really what's been sort of letting people down is a combination of the income cap and the regional house price cap. Now, the regional house price caps have been set, Lord knows who set them or why they set them or what was going on when they did it, but they were almost too low to start with. It was $650,000 for an in situ property in Auckland, $700,000 for a new build property in Auckland. You just were sort of struggling to find stuff around that.
To be fair, if you were trying to buy the closet in our office, that was going for about 600 grand, so the first home buyer grant would apply. So the house caps in the past have been quite low, which have made it very unachievable for most.
Yep.
The income cap is the other piece, which has not changed. So is it 95,000 for a single, and then 150,000 for a couple?
Yep, absolutely. Remember, that's a rolling 12-month average. So let's say I was earning $80,000 and I'm going to buy a house, and $80,000 for the last 12 months, and then I just got a promotion, new job, $100,000 salary, and I've only been on that salary for a month. That rolling 12-month average is still going to be under the $95,000, so you potentially still qualify for that grant. So important to have that discussion with your mortgage broker, but also with Kāinga Ora who give out these grants.
Okay, so coming to the piece for those first home buyers out there, something has changed. Those house price caps have changed. Mike, what have they moved to?
Yeah, so the house price caps around the country have pretty much slapped 100K on pretty much on most regions. So I think Auckland now is 875 for a new build, 775 for an in situ. Some of the other ones are a bit less around the country. Which is
Hamilton at 725 for a new build.
Yep. Really, the outlier here is probably Wellington, which is 925 for a new build and 750 for an in situ property. Why it's more than Auckland? Someone's maybe done some math and thinks that house prices or new builds coming to market in Wellington are going to be more expensive, and that's why they set the cap. Maybe they just want people to move to Wellington.
Yeah. Also, I assume the Hut is classified as Wellington as well.
I don't know where that is. So.
And so finding new builds in the Hut, which we're familiar with the new build market quite a lot.
Yeah.
There's a good opportunity there most likely. I think the big news here, Mike, is something that has been very unachievable in the past is now on the table. If we look at new build stock available in kind of Te Atatu Peninsula, kind of West Auckland for those in Auckland, or in the Hut for those in Wellington, maybe Rolleston, Papanui, etc., down in Christchurch. This is something that you should definitely be looking into because it's a great opportunity. If you could end up with anywhere between $5,000 and $20,000 if you're a couple buying a new build, awesome, right?
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, we're going to wrap it up all there. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, give us a review, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers.